We moved here from Boone County. We lived in High to begin with, and the mines closed there. Daddy never worked in the mines, but he worked outside the mines at the Tipple. You know what some of those old mining towns look like? Dumps, really. And when we moved here, and we got here at midnight one night, and on April the 1st, 1935. Couldn't wait to look out the window, to see where I was. And I looked out and saw all those little white houses in a row. I thought I died and went to heaven.
The background for these communities like Eleanor, Arthurdale, and then the one that's at Daly, West Virginia, or more commonly referred to as Tigard homesteads, they are part of an early New Deal program in the sort of first 100 Days Congress in 1933 called the Subsistence Homestead Division. That's sort of where that title comes from. It comes from several sort of different sort of groups that had been working both in New York State, where Franklin Roosevelt was governor and his wife was very involved. It comes from connections she had with people in the American Friends Service Committee, the Quakers, and others that were experimenting with these types of sort of back to the land types of practices. The idea was to sort of try to deal with rural unemployment and sort of rural folks that are going to be displaced either by industries that are no longer going to be coming back or profitable anymore, or they're in other areas of the country. The practice was they were farming land that could no longer really be productively used. So the idea was to sort of buy land, rural land. So the government's buying this land, they're buying it and building homes, they are buying livestock, they're building roads, they're buying farm equipment. Eleanor Roosevelt really hoped that this could be something that would be a model for dealing with the high pockets of urban poverty, but also those people that were sort of tenant farmers or working small subsistence plots that really just weren't productive anymore. So move them to a new location, give them a home, give them equipment, set up sort of a community school for the children. That Eleanor was maybe a little slightly more successful in that regard than Arthurdale was. It's closer to the Charleston area, the Kanawha Valley. The farming families that get relocated there are able to sell their surplus produce.
It was a wonderful place. Everyone looked after their kids, and that including disciplining the kids when they needed it, even if they weren't their own, they were the neighbors' kids. It was just a really great place to grow up. People were close. My friends were like my brothers and sisters more than just acquaintances. It was really thriving when I was growing up, but then in the 1980s when the plants shut down in Nitro and surrounding areas, Eleanor, most people my age, began moving out of state, particularly down south, to find work. And there was a period where it was kind of depressed and not a lot of employment. I lived in Eleanor, everybody knew everybody. You didn't lock your doors. Everybody looked out for everybody. I don't see that now, and I think that's because so many people have moved in from different places, and it's just like society like that as a whole. And I don't think people visit back and forth.
It used to be everyone knew everyone. There was 150 houses. All these people had moved here. It was a wonderful thing for them to take part in.